Hello. I stopped by to show you a few things here that might give you some hints on working multiplication with exponents. Remember, this is an exponent, a number, base number with an exponent. Exponent's 2. This is, of course, the whole number. Okay. Now, remember, for an exponent is like 10 to the second power. It's raised to the second power, or 10 squared. The 2, if you're going to find the value of the 10 squared, the 2 equals how many zeros your value will have, and you just drop a 1 in front. So 10 raised to the second power is worth 100. If that were a 3, what would it be worth? Yeah, it would have 3 zeros with a 1 in front. Okay, so there, you've got that. Anyway, we won't worry about that right now. This is a 5. And we're going to multiply that times 10 raised to the second power. It's easy. You can do this by simply moving the decimal point. And I know what you just thought. There is no decimal point. Okay. Keep in mind, yes, there is. Every number has a decimal point. Every single number has a decimal point. Okay. The 5, I can write the 5 like this. I can write $5 like that. And you know what $5 looks like. Or I could write $5 like this with a decimal point. Either way is $5. Now keep in mind, when you see a whole number without a decimal point, it really does have a decimal point. It's just hidden because it's not necessary. Because this 5 is in the ones place and that 5 still is in the ones place. With a decimal point, the ones place is to the left of the decimal point every single time. A whole number that doesn't use a decimal point, well, the digit on its right will always be in the ones place. Example, if I had $726, the which digit would be in the ones place? It'd be the 6, okay? Because if I wrote 6, it's easy to see. If I wrote $726 with a decimal point, that's exactly where the decimal point would be, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, let's change this 5 into a 5 using a decimal point. And we talked yesterday about the 2 being 2 tens multiplied. So we're going to multiply this by 10 times 10 is 100. So 100 times 5 is, we already know the answer. It's going to be 500. It's always easy when you know the answer to begin with. But I'm going to show you a little shortcut. We're just going to move the decimal point to find our answer, or move the digits to find our answer. 2 different ways to do this. Let's move the digits first. I'll show you this. Let's divide our paper and do it 2 ways. The digits, when you multiply, will go to the left. So here we go. Digits to the left. We start out with 5, decimal point there. And we're going to move the decimal point, or move the digits 2 places because our exponent is 2. So we're going to go from the ones place, and we're going to move it 2 places over to right here. All right. Now, decimal points here, the 5's here. We've got to fill these in with placeholders. So our final product is 500, or since I don't like to write it with a decimal point by itself, just 500. Okay. Moving the digits, all the digits, to the right, left. Now, you can accomplish the exact same thing by moving the decimal point to the right. And I really think this is easier. I'll show you why. Start out with 5, find my decimal point, and I'm going to move it 2 places. Now, we know we have an empty place here, an empty place here. So I have to move the decimal point 1 place between there, 2 places to right here. It moves to the right, okay? It's no longer there. It's right here. What do I do here? Yeah, placeholders. So I end up with this. I don't need that decimal point because there's nothing behind. So it's just 500. And you know what? We got the exact same answer, two different ways. I really like this way. If you really like this way, that's totally fine too. You use either way that you like. All right. But just make sure when you see a number without a decimal point, the decimal point always goes to its right because that digit, that number occupies the uh, ones place. Okay. Hopefully that made it a little bit easier for you. That gives you a little bit of a starting point. Do well.